Atta boy. Yes, sir.
I think it's the biggest aspect, and I know I've seen this. I've talked to a lot of my players about this, whether they play for my organization or it's just someone doing a camp, clinic, or a lesson. It's very difficult to find kids that actually sit down and watch a game, an MLB game, a college game, and it's a sad reality. I mean, I remember as a kid, I'm getting ready for the All-Stars when I'm 12, and I'm watching SportsCenter, all the top 10 plays. I'm trying to mimic that. We're out on the field having fun. You know, we watched them. We knew baseball players. You ask kids today, like, who's on this roster? They'll name you the top 3 to 5 guys in the MLB right now, and that's it. They don't know anybody else. And it's amazing how that happens now. It's just completely changed. But if you watch what you want to do and you have that internal drive and passion, that's why the numbers are so small going to college, making the pros, because they set them up for success because they have that drive and determination to push aside the distractions because they are studying the game to the point where they want to make themselves. It's amazing that you did that. You don't hear that very often. That's pretty unique. I love it.
I think it's to touch upon why that's happening. I think the brand of baseball is way different than, this is a new generation where, everybody's talking about why guys are hitting 100 or $150 in the big leagues, making multi-millions of dollars. The statistics have changed on what's important. The brand of baseball, 40% of the game now is walks, strikeouts, and home runs. We are not teaching kids to bunt. We're not teaching bunt plays. We're not teaching, my biggest anxiety when I was coming up was we got a flyer on, first base that could steal. We got a guy like Juan Pierre, who's also a flyer, who's great at bunting. You got to make sure the bunt coverage, and you got to pitch to the third hitter or fourth hitter in a situation where you're going like, there's situational things going on. Now they've taken away all this stuff to be very predictable. I think the game is very predictable and boring because now it's bashball instead of baseball. If we reteach the kids the fundamentals of what was, and the shows like This Week in Baseball, there's a lot more action. Surprisingly to me, there's a lot more action when that was going on. And the games were 5-3, 3-2, 2-1 ball games, and people go, "That's boring." They go, "But you're not paying attention." So yeah, you want to see. Go watch BP then if you want to see action, because that's basically what you're seeing during the game, and that's a true pitch you're talking, of course,
Sure.
But I think some of the predictability of the game, we've lost a lot of components of what are we teaching. It's easy to put a ball on a tee and say good job instead of like, well, why are you doing? What's your approach? Nobody's talking more of an approach. These kids go in there, and coaches are yelling during the game. Well, what's their approach? I don't see any pregame talk or enough. There's not enough time to get ready for tournaments. Or even my son's game the other day, I followed the bus. They had a half an hour to get ready off out of school, stretch, throw, and then there's no BP. Right. It's very minimal, right? And then we're going to have this expectation to be great in game. But the pregame sucked. I mean, you go to a math class, you're changing, hurry up, eat a snack, and then we're out on the field expecting kids to be great or be good today.
Sure.
Or even in a tournament. So it's a lot of diluted things that we have to adjust. Of course, we're not going to fix that per se, but I think it's good, to talk and collaborate and say, how do we make this better? Instead of sitting there and bitching and complaining about things, there's not enough guys collaborating to say, hey, what does your organization do? That's great. We should implement that. Hey, what do you guys do? That's great. We should implement that. Or we could tweak this because we don't like that, but we know that we can make this. It's sharing knowledge. And again, it goes back to you never outgrow this game. And if you don't pick up tips and watch players individually, take up some of their methods and talk the game, that's what these shows and these talks are about, right? Learn the game. Who wants to listen? Who wants to sit down and talk the mental stuff? Because that is really where it's at.
Catch new episodes of the Tiger Interview Series on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and you can watch it on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to get notified of future episodes by setting notifications to all. And check out our website, rawlingstigers.com, for club baseball and softball information.